Hello and welcome. This is Mouse Gunner, and we're back with some more Hearts of Iron 4. Continuing on with the Free India campaign, where we try and remove ourselves from the British Commonwealth. Right now we're called the British Raj, but hopefully one day we'll be known as India. In any case, let's go ahead and continue here. The Spanish Civil War just happened, which is just increased world tension up to 3%. Now we have to wait until 10% before we can start doing things with our government to separate ourselves away from the Commonwealth. So far, some rapid progress by the nationalists here. And over in Ethiopia, still slow going, it looks like, but Italians continue to progress, it looks like. Let's focus on the Civil War, because I'm very curious how this is going to go. Now, honestly, I don't really care which way this goes, but I think whichever way results in the most world tension is the way I'd want this to go. So I would want probably the nationalists to win. I also want to see some intervention here, make that world tension go up higher than it is right now. But at the moment, it looks like the nationalists have gained the most ground, but there was a chance there that the Republicans could have cut off this whole group near Zaragoza, but they themselves just got cut off and I think are going to get annihilated here. And then there's just the one port here. Now, the port will sustain them, but... Okay, so we just had our next focus happen, which is industrial expansion, which gave us another civilian factory, which is good. How is our construction going? All right. Decent, but, you know, slow considering how small of an economy we have. All right, let's go ahead and do more things here. So we're going to be doing Tata Steel and the oil so we can get our research slot. And then I don't think there's any point to do this one. So we're probably going to want to come back over here and start thinking about other things we can do to improve ourselves, like maybe the military factory here or just increasing infrastructure across the board. I'm assuming that our infrastructure is pretty bad for the most part. So, yeah, let's do, I don't think it really matters. I'll go ahead and do Tata Steel first. And as a matter of fact, let's take a look at our infrastructure. So, for the most part, we're looking at 4 of 10 or 5 of 10. And then we've got some areas on the outskirts that are worse than that. The worst one being this one over here, 1 of 10. But that's over in the mountains. And we've got 2 of 10 over here, 2 of 10 over here, 3 of 10, 3 of 10. So hopefully we can improve those. But that's not going to be all of my focus. And I actually don't know where these other infrastructure things are going to be. We just got research, so I'm going to have to take a look at that. So Burma. Okay, so that might actually deal with some of the bad infrastructure over here. But in any case, we just got our research, so let's grab our next one. So that was over here with plus 5% production. I'm going to go ahead and go for the construction now so that we can build more civilian factories quicker. And away we go. So let's watch the Civil War. All right, so it looks like Republican Spain is gaining some grounds here, and again is threatening to cut off nationalist troops around Zaragoza. But then some thrust by the nationalists bring that back. Now I'm hoping to see a change here in Spain where one side just doesn't dominate the other sides very quickly, because that's not historically what happened. Historically, this lasted up until 39, so I want to kind of see that start to be more the norm rather than the war ending in like late 36 to like early 37 like it tends to. But in any case, let's go ahead and modify the government here. Now, as I was talking about earlier, unless there's something that I can do that would improve our autonomy, which I really honestly don't think there is, because these are all research related and these are all military related. So if we don't have anything in here, to improve our... Yeah, I'm not seeing anything that improves our autonomy. I see things like this that improve our national unity. But I think instead we're going to go with communist revolution here because I'm going to end up, I think, going pro-communist. So communism on the rise. While workers rise up against their oppressors around the world, those who claim to have achieved class consciousness and British Raj sit idly by and wait for change to come from within a political system so thoroughly corrupt only revolution could save us from it. So speak new voices in the British Indian Communist movement, referring to the rule of INC as a dictatorship of the bourgeois. They have been calling for it to be brought out of power by any means necessary. Whether those means will come from within or without remains to be seen. So we have two choices here. Increases the chance of internal support for a communist coup. There may be those in the government itself who support such ideas, or a movement for people must seek support from the people. Increases the chance of popular support for a communist uprising. Increases the chance of internal support for communist coup. Increases the chance of a popular support for communist uprising. I think this one is the correct move. Increase the chance of popular support for communist uprising because... I mean, they're both good, technically. None of these are bad. But I think the more popular support we have, the more the country will flip communist. The only thing I am concerned with is the internal one. The internal one might give us more military units flipping our way if we have a communist coup. So I'm going to go with the uprising, though. That's what I would prefer, anyway. I didn't quite expect that there to be an event when I chose that. That's kind of interesting. So right now, we're mostly democratic, but there's a lot of unaligned people. So hopefully we can start getting communism up. Right now, we're getting daily change in that, not really anything else. So we should progress in that direction. And then after that, I'll see about maybe getting... we can't change this because we're not independent. I find that interesting. So we can't change any of these outside of going to... Okay, so we can't do these because we're not at war or anything. We could go free trade if we wanted to. But that would mean more of our resources go to the market rather than ourselves. And then civilian economy. We can't do any of these because we don't have world tension high enough. Being a world tension, it's still at 2%. Come on, guys. Italy, defeat Ethiopia already. I mean, they're nearing the capital. And then over in Spain, it looks like nationalists are really starting to do quite well here. Now, if we get some support from the Soviet Union, which I honestly don't know if that's happening, I guess we could click on this and find out. So Germany has sent volunteers, and the Soviet Union have sent volunteers. It looks like the amount of world tension that's generated from that is a lot less. At least I thought I remember this generating more world tension in the past. All right, so the Republicans are pushing back a little bit here as they just captured Zaragoza, which is a major victory for them. As a matter of fact, they've encircled a unit here, or a group of units here, that it's going to be hard for the nationalists to come in here now that they just got some units wiped out there. But these units are in jeopardy. And then we might have, encirclement here, so... All right, so yeah, the Republicans are kind of pushing back here, so this is not necessarily going the way of nationalism. But they did capture Madrid, and Madrid, you know, is the capital here, so that was quite a victory for the nationalists early on. Whether or not they can hold on to it, I don't know, because there's quite a Republican push going on right now. Now, if we take a look in Ethiopia, all right, so they have more or less crushed the Ethiopians. They just have to take the capital and it'll probably be over. So we'll probably see that happen pretty soon here. Now, we need the world tension to be up to 10%, so that is still going to take quite a while, I think. Probably going to have to see the Spanish Civil War actually resolve itself with the nationalists winning or something like that before we, I think, are going to see that get up higher. So we're going to go ahead and go with the oil now so that we can get that research slot. It's one of those things. Also, the event with Japan. Oh, this is different too. You know, I remember there being some things like this mentioned. Yeah, see, I think this used to just be part of China. It's not anymore, which is actually, I think, more accurate. So we'll have to see how this whole thing against Japan works now. All right, so they managed to capture the port down here. So, again, Republicans are really pushing back here. Not sure at this point who's going to win. It looked like it was going the nationalist way, but okay. So the Olympic Games here. And how is the production for us going? So we are reducing this number. How is the recruitment going? This is behind because we've given a priority to reinforcements, which I think is the better idea anyway. We do have enough army experience that I could start adding on support companies to units, but I don't think I'm ready to do that because we don't have enough factories, in my opinion, to build or produce the support equipment anyway. All right, well, they're fighting battles now to take the capital and the surrounding area, so we'll have to see if that goes in the direction of victory here. But it should be soon. Then over here, Nationalists still hold on to Madrid, but the Republican forces are close. This area here that was encircled is finally collapsing and probably going to be taken out. I don't see the Nationalists coming back in and rescuing these troops. Looks like Cordoba may fall for the Republicans, and it looks like this city and this port is also going to fall. Now, the river crossing here might slow things down a little bit, although they've already gone kind of around it. The main reason Madrid's going to be really hard for them to capture is this river crossing here. It looks like most of the movement now is going on in the south, where the Republicans are continuing to push. Everywhere else looks more or less... Oh, there we go. I think they reduced world tension with that war, though. Yeah, peace treaty, minus 2%. So we're down back to 0%. A lot of that just depends upon how the Italians deal with that peace deal. Whether or not that's going to either give world tension or reduce it. Usually, I think it does reduce it slightly. So what we're hoping on here is actually just more of this happening, more volunteers being sent. So Italy just sent volunteers to Spain, which should help, I think, the nationalists start pushing back here. Well, in theory, anyway. All right, what is Japan working on out of curiosity? Super heavy battleships. And Germany is working on industrial effort. Again, it's going to be a while before they do anything that makes world tension go up any higher. All right, we just got our next focus. So let us get the research slot, as that makes the most sense for us. Now, I don't know if we're ever going to get any better than 4, and we can't get better than 3 until we get down to here, which I don't think we can do. Because we have to be at war to get it, and we have to be independent as well. So, can't quite do that yet. All right. And this just put us at quite a bit of a disadvantage, because this is the one thing we want to do to give us our autonomy. And a lot of the other Commonwealth nations I saw, they could do that right out the bat. They didn't have to wait like we are having to do. So, seeing that as a little bit of a problem. So this is kind of a challenging start. All right. Now, normally I would go dispersed industry, because I would feel like, you know, like, for instance, if I'm playing Italy, I feel like I'm on the front lines, more or less. But with British Raj, I don't really necessarily feel that way. So, I think we're probably better off with the overall higher factory output. Now, the other thing that you get, though, is the efficiency. So you can switch from one thing to another that you don't get here. But I'm going to go this route, because this is not the route I normally go. I think we also get... No, max factories is the same. Let's go ahead and research that. Oh, wow. Republican Spain is winning now, because they just captured Madrid. I would say this is more than likely going to be a Republican Spain victory. And again, it's happening very quickly. I mean, I don't know if Nationalist Spain will come back from this and start pushing again, but it looks like it's very one-sided at this point. And if this ends in, like, a few months, I mean, that would benefit us because world tension, unless the Republican Spain winning doesn't add any world tension, then that kind of screws us. But from what I'm seeing, this kind of thing needs to change. This needs to be a little bit slower than it is here. In any case, let's take a look at... Probably we want to start working on industry type stuff. So what would be better, electronics or industry? I think there's more industry researches overall that we'd want. So let's go ahead and take this one. And we're working on that anyway right now. So I'm going to take this because I don't think any of these are really going to help. We don't really need an improved relations opinion right now. I don't feel like we really need... Political power gain might be useful, kind of long term. And the national unity is great, but again, I don't feel like we really need it, so... Alright, well, let's go ahead and take that research bonus. And let's continue. This area is still holding out, surprisingly. They can't hold out forever, though. We are seeing some movement down here in the south that is going for the nationalists. But now that's being reduced. And I don't know. I don't really know what it is. I don't know if it's a balance thing or an AI thing. Because in some regards, I've complained in the past that the AI doesn't move fast enough. But then when you have campaigns like this, campaigns that should last years, sometimes the AI moves too fast. I think it's not really an AI problem. I think this is just a balancing problem. I think the two forces have to be more balanced so that there's not a really clear leader, and they're constituted in a way that one side can't just quickly upend the other side. At least that's my feeling on it. But I think the way that they've designed this is so that player involvement has more impact here. So when volunteers come in, they have much more power than the actual Spanish forces, which I don't think is the right move. Maybe because I feel like just the like 2 or 3 units that another nation sends in here as volunteers shouldn't just single-handedly win the campaign. I don't know. That's just my feeling. All right, so we've done most of the things here. This, I mean, could help. Reinforce rate could help because we do need reinforcements. Why not? We'll take it. But then I'm going to start working on things that are not industry and electronic related, unless, yeah, we wouldn't have anything new until 38. I'm not going to bother researching radar because I think there's not really a point to that. I'm never going to be able to build up a radar network, so at least I don't think I'll be able to. But I don't know. Again, maybe National Spain will come back here. I mean, they did encircle some units here, which should help. But how do I know that the German units, for instance, aren't the ones trapped here? And that's the reason why the nationalists are losing, because the Soviet troops who are not trapped are dominating the war or something like that. You know, that's the kind of thing that, if that's the case, if the German units are trapped here, that's probably why the nationalists are losing. But I can't see that, and I don't know that for sure. But I'm considering how long this has held out. That could be a very likely possibility. Now, it's quite possible the Soviet troops are the ones trapped in here, because this is holding out quite a long time. And yeah, there is a swing going on here, as we have Italian units, which probably single-handedly have pushed down here in the south, regaining territory. So this could swing back in the nationalist favor, as much as it's looking grim for them at the moment. Because if the Soviet troops are trapped in here, and the Italian troops have free reign to start capturing things, we might start to see this swing around a little bit. Alright, so we just got our research slot. So we not only have to choose another research, and industry-wise, we're going to have 37 happening pretty soon, so we could take this. But I think for now, let's research something different. So I'm going to go ahead and take this 1918 thing, because most everybody has already done it. And it should research pretty quickly. So let's go ahead and do that. And then we have our national focus here. So as far as industry goes, what do we have in this central area here? So from what I see, this is all naval related, going this way. So we've got a building slot for the docks, another building slot for the docks, and then this is all Navy. Yeah, so this we're not going to focus on. We could do the East India Railway and then do the arsenal, which would gives us a military factory. And then we could finish that off with our last bit of infrastructure. And then after that, I might go on to these ones here, reforming our military. Because that's, I mean, what else can I do right now? I can't do these until world tension's higher, so... Alright, I think that's the game plan. So, let us take the East India Railways here. and continue. So yeah, there's some really quick movement going on here, and I gotta believe this is the Italians doing that. And I'm pretty much convinced at this point that the German troops are trapped here and the Soviet troops are trapped here, because the Republican Spanish troops have pretty much stopped their momentum entirely, and I think it's because the Soviet troops are trapped here. And it's quite possible they just got wiped out. And this will probably progress pretty quickly because of the Italian troops' involvement. So it might swing back around here. And it looks like it's already doing that up here in the north, too. And that these troops here have a very likely chance of being encircled. And if this gets cut off, these guys are dead. So, yeah. And this kind of momentum push here, I gotta believe these are Italian or German troops doing this. All right, world tension did drop back down here. Let's take a look at it. So the anti-Comintern Pact did bring up world tension there briefly. Yeah, I mean, look at this push. And I feel like because the Soviet troops possibly just got wiped out there, we're going to see a huge swing in nationalist favor because the resistance to the much more powerful Italian troops is going to be minimal. Although we do see some pushing going on up here. So maybe I'm going to be eating my words here. But I feel like nationalist Spain has a real chance of coming back now. Because their gains in the south are pretty rapid. Granted, their losses in the north are starting to be rapid here. What is Germany working on right now? More industrial stuff. What is Japan working on? Because that is our other source of world tension. Okay, nothing, I think, at the moment. Ah, okay. So this... Ah, gotcha. So they're a puppet. And they're a puppet. I wonder how far down the chain an integrated puppet is. So now you could play as Manchukuo, and it's not just part of Japan now. Because I'm now recalling this. So this used to be just Japanese territory. But now it is a separate state. This already existed. Okay. Again, I think I remember seeing this mentioned in the DLC notes, but I didn't know exactly what it meant by the fact that there was a new nation here. So now I guess I understand that a little bit better. So this is again going in with the system of, you know, overlord and dominion, or whatever you want to call it, commonwealth, puppet. So they've kind of changed the way puppets work. Because the puppets can now have a chance of gaining autonomy. Now, as far as I know, Manchukuo here doesn't have their own. They just have the generic focus tree here. So I don't know if they have any way of gaining political power or anything like that. Okay, we just got our next focus here. So again, Japan, what are you up to? Nothing yet. We're going to have to wait a little bit longer. Okay. So we only have a couple more of these to go. So we're going to take the Arsenal one. And then I think we're done for the industrial focuses for the meantime. So we did get into 37. Oh, this is starting to look really bad for the nationalists. There's a lot of gains have been made up north. And some of the gains in the south have been undone. But it's definitely more back and forth than I've seen in the past. So maybe they have improved this. I don't know. Because it looks like the nationalists are fighting back to some degree. Well, in any case, I think it's a good point to go ahead and put a cut in the video. So I hope you guys have enjoyed. This is Mouse Gunner, signing out.